Hello and welcome. It's Matthew David, the Minister of Allowing. From Allow Ministries and MatthewDavidHurtado.com. So let me ask you a question. How would you like to create the miracle of not punishing yourself? I know it sounds like an odd question, but see, here's the thing. We all know that guilt is bad for us, but did you know that guilt is a call for punishment and it's a cause to take away something? So whenever we harbor guilt, we take away something of ours, like our health, our finances, or our relationship, or something valuable to us. We block it. We take it away. Okay. Now, shame goes along with guilt, and shame actually causes you to repeat the action. Anytime you feel shame, you will repeat the action, ironically enough. So what do we do with this? Well, this is day number 2 of 30 Days of Miracles that I'm doing live stream. I'm going to keep this very short and brief, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to get this cheat sheet guide here of the process I'm going to teach you called the Safe Touch Method. Now, I developed this method a couple years ago, and it's been one of the most effective and most popular techniques in our ministry. So if you want to get a copy of that, you can text the word SAFE to this number, 608-530-6658, and also go to hurtado.io for the private Facebook group. Okay, it's not this page, but it's a private group where I do full live streams, 1 hour, usually every Wednesday and Sunday night. So check that out, get the free download, because what I'm going to show you right now is I'm going to show you how to use this sheet and get rid of the repelling force in your life that takes away the good that you're asking to receive. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is you want to get a pulse on how much guilt or shame that you have. So the way to do that is, if you're intuitive, like let's say maybe you muscle test or you're just intuitive, you can say, okay, from 0 to 10, 0 means I have no guilt, no shame, or 10 means I have quite a bit. How much am I holding on to? Well, this is what you want to do. You think about a goal you're going after. Think about how it feels not having it, and then think about the frustration you have of not having it now, and that'll also give you the level of guilt and shame that you have. So what you could do is you can say, okay, how frustrated am I that I don't have, insert your goal. Okay, I'd say I'm having a 6 right now, a 6. So I'm going to take you through the mechanics of this process, and I'm going to show you all of the components, and I'm going to walk you through it. It's very, very important. It'll clear your repelling force, your guilt. And so as you do this, now imagine the Lord's Prayer was all about forgiving others of their debts and forgiving. Okay, so we need to forgive. Every day we need to forgive. We need to get rid of guilt every single day. It's the most powerful way that you can amp up your vibration, amp up your attraction, amp up your attitude towards life, and receive what you're asking for. So we use the eyes. Those are the windows to the soul. We use the hands are healing, and we use the heart, because out of the heart come the issues of life. So here's what we're going to do. Measure and scale your level of guilt 0 to 10 as I described. Okay, now what you do first is you look in your own eyes and you say, I intend to release any and all unforgiveness, guilt, and shame now. That's step 1. So grab your phone, grab whatever device you have or something in front of you. Just look in your eyes. I intend to release any and all unforgiveness, guilt, and shame now. We set the intention, okay? The next thing we do is we grab the hands. Grab your hands, and I want you to mentally forgive anyone or anything that comes to mind right now. So it could be you, it could be God, it could be your spouse, your neighbor, your boss, somebody who cut you off in traffic today, somebody who stole money from you, somebody who swore at you. I want you to just forgive them. And if you need a technique to forgive them, use the Ho'oponopono technique. Now, that technique goes like this. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. And you're saying that not to them. You're saying it to God, knowing that you have made a judgment against one of God's creation. All right. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. I just keep saying that as I hold my hands until all of the people and all of the circumstances just come to a natural conclusion. I'm going to do it now. It takes usually about 15 to 30 seconds until things stop coming for forgiveness. Okay, so I'm complete with the forgiveness part. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to confess from our heart. So confession brings release of guilt. So put your hands on your heart, and you're going to mentally confess anything that you perceive you had a role in where there was a wrongdoing. Okay, it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It could have been you that thinks something was done wrong to you. But anything where you were there at the scene of the crime where there was a wrongdoing, okay, in your opinion, there was a wrongdoing, I want you to confess that you made a judgment or an error, or you held somebody outside of God's love. That's the key. I held someone or something, including myself, outside of God's love. So just confess mentally to God what you had a role in where there was a wrongdoing and there was a perceived injustice and you were there. Confess to God about it until you feel clear. Okay. I feel clear. So once you're clear, then you take your hands, cross them over your meridians, grab your other opposite shoulder, and start doing this. And then just say, I love, accept, and forgive myself. Take a deep breath. Let it out. That is the entire technique. So again, you want to do this. If you want to get this download blueprint right here so you can practice this and do it over and over again, you can text the word SAFE to the number on the screen and get this blueprint right to your smartphone device, okay? Now, you can also watch this video again if you're outside of the country, outside of the US, or you can download my book, my #1 international bestseller, where I talk about this technique, Ask Until It's Given. You can get a free copy of this by going to askuntilItisgiven.com on your computer. You can download it, or you can text the word ask to the number that you saw here. Text ask to 608-530-6658, and you can get a free download of this book right here, my #1 international bestseller that has this technique in it and more. You can read it, you can appreciate it, and let it enrich your life. So I wanted to share that technique with you. It's very, very powerful. So Raina says, do these techniques deal with shame, guilt, and resentment as well? Absolutely. That's exactly what this technique deals with. And just so you know, shame is a repelling force, and it will repeat. Shame will repeat. Anytime you feel shame, you'll repeat the action unconsciously until you forgive. Okay, that's why forgiveness was part of the Lord's Prayer. It's so mandatory. So use this technique and measure. Now I've done the process. I'm going to have to take a measurement now. I was at a 6. Now I'm at a 1. Okay, one time I went from a 6 to a 1. And you say, well, Matthew, how do you know you went from a 6 to 1? Well, I'm just intuitively knowing the level of frustration or resistance that I feel on a scale of 0 to 10, when I feel about where I want my goal to be and where I am. And if in the middle I don't feel peace, if I have my peace was broken in my heart, that is your level of guilt and shame, whatever amount that is from 0 to 10. Okay. So I just collapsed from a 6 down to a 1 by doing the technique one time. So let me tell you what that means. When we have this so-called law of attraction, and I'm saying, I want to manifest this, okay? We also have this force going where we push away what we want. That's your guilt and shame and your unforgiveness. That is usually stronger for most people than their pulling force. So they're pulling in what they desire through a, contrast, and they're moving towards what they desire, but they're pushing it away at a stronger level. That's why they don't get it. So this is the easiest way to collapse what you're pushing away and allow things to come to you. Use the technique. It'll enrich your life. And I'm going to leave it at that and be off of here in 10 minutes. This is just a quick nugget of wisdom. Very, very powerful technique. Use it. You're going to love it. And catch me in 1 hour or 50 minutes at 8 p.m. Central Time. I'll be at Hurtado.io for a full-length talk about the 8 Beatitudes, okay, from the Bible, from Matthew. The 8 Beatitudes that will elevate your income, your health, and your love life. So check me out in an hour. Come to get this, and you will be prospered. All right. Love you guys. Take care. And we'll see you tomorrow for another day of the 30 Days of Miracles.